background where he's going to sit as the chief guest for this event. The place is already organized. My name is Michael Jordan Nukumwa, and I'm part of the very big team here to give you the whole event live. Before we start anything, when a district hosts or an area hosts an event like this, we give it a chance to be known, to get some information about it. So we are in Kabale and Kigezi in general. This is an opportunity to talk to them about their place. I have the State Minister for Industry, the Honorable David Bahati, and we are going to talk to him as one of the leaders in the area about what Kabale is all about and the general information about the place that we are in. Honorable, good morning, sir.
Yeah, morning to you. We just welcome everyone here at Kigezi High School Primary Playground, where we are hosting the National Youth Day. This is a celebration of the achievements that we have made for the young people in terms of education, in terms of health, in terms of creation of jobs, and also in terms of the new programs that aim at improving the household income, like parish development model and yoga and youth livelihood. So we are extremely happy to host His Excellency the President here in Kabale district and in the region. We are happy that this is happening in Kabale.
Okay, I was reading about Kabale as a district and Kigezi as a region. So agriculture is the main economic activity. How much has been done to advance it to higher levels as in terms of government programs and things like that?
Yeah, it is true that agriculture is a backbone, but also Kigezi is known for its tourism potential. It is a home of Lake Bunyonyi, the second deepest lake in Africa. It is a home of Mount Muhabura, one of the beautiful mountains in the world. It's a home of Lake Mutanda. It's a home of mountain gorillas. So it's a strong center for tourism in the country, and also very hard-working people, very honest people. So we are happy that the whole country is focusing on this important day here in Kabale to celebrate the achievements of the movement towards building the base for the youth under the leadership of His Excellency the President.
Honorable, then what could explain the poverty levels in the region with all the richness that you have talked about?
The poverty has been lack of and also in terms of the new programs that aim at improving the household income, like parish development model and yoga and youth livelihood. So we are extremely happy to host His Excellency the President here in Kabale district and in the region. We are happy that this is happening in Kabale.
Okay, I was reading about Kabale as a district and Kigezi as a region. So agriculture is the main economic activity. How much has been done to advance it to higher levels as in terms of government programs and things like that?
Yeah, it is true that agriculture is a backbone, but also Kigezi is known for its tourism potential. It is a home of Lake Bunyonyi, the second deepest lake in Africa. It is a home of Mount Muhabura, one of the beautiful mountains in the world. It's a home of Lake Mutanda. It's a home of mountain gorillas. So it's a strong center for tourism in the country, and also very hard-working people, very honest people. So we are happy that the whole country is focusing on this important day here in Kabale to celebrate the achievements of the movement towards building the base for the youth under the leadership of His Excellency the President.
Honorable, then what could explain the poverty levels in the region with all the richness that you have talked about?
The poverty has been lack of direct intervention. Now that we have direct intervention like the PDM, where we have now invested 7.2 billion for Kabale alone, 42 billion for the region. We think that with this, we should be direct investment will be able to fight the poverty. Thank you.
We thank you so much, Honorable. Yeah, the Honorable Bahati seems to be a little busy. He is among the organizers of the event, so he's part of the team that is welcoming in people, bringing in to take seats and things like that. But like I said, we are here to celebrate the International Youth Day here in Kigezi, and we are going to share a lot of information in as far as the day is concerned, to get to understand what exactly is being celebrated, who are the young people, and what exactly is in store for them. Government of Uganda has always dedicated this day. We are going to know why it was celebrated. It has been chosen to be celebrated on the 17th and not on the 12th, as is supposed to be. So this day was earmarked by ministers of youth that sat in a UN conference in 1998, but it was confirmed in 1999 to be always celebrated every 12th of August. Every 12th of August every year, and here we are to celebrate it on the 17th. People in the Ministry of Gender and Labor and Social Development, under whom the supervision of youth affairs is, will be explaining to us why they chose the 17th of August as the day for the celebration of the Youth Day this year. Who are the youth, if we are to get to understand who the young people are? In as far as definition is concerned, this is a socially structured, constructed intermediary phase that stands between childhood and adulthood. In Uganda, that is the age between 18 to 35. According to demographics, Uganda has over 78% of such people in its population. The biggest number of our population are the young people, and the projection is that in 25 years that number will have doubled. So on such days, leaders and other stakeholders take stock of how much has been done to prepare for this group of people, that whose number will double, and what is in store for government and other stakeholders to do in as far as preparing for this big group of people is concerned. As we speak right now, there is an arrival here of Her Excellency the Vice President, retired Major Jessica Alupo. She's being received to take her seat. I can see ministers lining up to receive her. Like I said, it is a very colorful event here at Kigezi High School, and we expect His Excellency the President, who will be the chief guest. Yes, Baganda say omugabite yesera. In English, that is charity begins at home. UBC, we are under the ministry is concerned. As we speak right now, there is an arrival here of Her Excellency the Vice President, retired Major Jessica Alupo. She's being received to take her seat. I can see ministers lining up to receive her. Like I said, it is a very colorful event here at Kigezi High School, and we expect His Excellency the President, who will be the chief guest. Yes, Baganda say omugabite yesera. In English, that is charity begins at home. UBC, we are under the Ministry of ICT, and definitely if we get an opportunity, we have to talk to our own. Here is the State Minister for National Guidance and ICT, the Honorable Godfrey Kabyanga. Honorable, good morning.
Morning, how are you, UBC?
We are fine.
Yes.
It is very cold in Kabale. How are you feeling? Give my viewer a picture. They may say I'm just talking, as we are known to be talkative as journalists. Give them their view. How cold is Kabale in your view?
Kabale used to be colder than this, but I'm surprised that it's warmer now. But still, it's cold. Mainly for you who come from a little warmer area, but it's a beautiful place, and we're enjoying the situation. Yep.
We are here to celebrate the youth, and on such days, stakeholders, government, development partners, you leaders, and the people being celebrated use these days to take stock of what they have done and the way forward. As the Ministry of ICT, we have over 78% of our population young people, and according to statistics, this number will double in 25 years. How much have you done, and what do you have in store for this group that we expect to be in an explosive mode in as far as numbers are concerned?
Actually, this day is being celebrated at the right time, because yesterday we launched the digital transformation roadmap, and in that roadmap, one of the major components is job creation. As you are aware, we are trying to see how we can promote business processing outsourcing, which we think is going to create several jobs for the youth. The policy is ready to be presented to cabinet now, which will guide how we shall move. And as the ICT ministry, you have seen now, like this month, we have reduced internet cost from $70 per megabyte per second to $35. All that is to see how people can hook themselves into the digital world, because what really drives it is the internet. So the cheaper it is, the more people will hook to the digital world and do business digitally. So our sector is one of the sectors the president has identified as a driver for socio-economic transformation. That's commercial, agriculture, industrial services, and ICT. So as much as possible as a sector, we are trying to see how we can improve so that we can create as more jobs as possible.
Like I said, on such days we take stock. Personally, I've attended events at the Ministry of ICT where you were giving out money and things like that to boost works of innovators and people of that line. This is the opportunity we have to ask you, what achievements have you registered? How successful are these people? If you wasted our money, you tell us as well.
We have not wasted your money. Right now, there are so many systems which are now developed by our youth. We are no longer depending on the outside world to develop systems. There are so many platforms now which have been formed, which are even replacing Facebook, because all of you have been craving for Facebook. But young people have gone into developing platforms which are now being used to replace Facebook. There are so many management systems now which are being developed by our youth here. If you go to education, for instance, there is the education management system. If you go to parish development model, there's the parish model management information system, which has been developed entirely by Ugandans. So for us, really, we are doing well as far as innovation is concerned, and the money we have put in innovation has not gone in vain. If you go to our innovation hub in Nakawa, you will find so many innovations that are coming up. I think as a ministry now, what we are waiting for is to develop them to commercial level, and that's what is lacking now. As soon as we get money, we should really commercialize these systems so that we stop relying on imported systems.
As we wind up, on your own as Godfrey Kabyanga,
to the new Comedy Friday.
Allow me even drop honorable.
Yes.
What would be your message to a young man in Uganda watching you on this day, in as far as having a fruitful life is concerned? As a parent, as somebody who has been a youth sometime, on your own, what would be that message from your heart to a young man if you met him and you have a one-on-one here on our camera?
My message to the young people, they should love what they do, and they should work hard to achieve what they want to be. and they should avoid external influence that is not productive, because they are now, and as a minister of ICT, they should use social media
New comedy Friday TV
to develop themselves, but they should also be careful that there is a lot on social media that can mislead them. And lastly, they should know that the future is digital, and digital is the future. So as a young man now, you should ensure you struggle hard to go digital, because everything will be e-services in the near future.
We thank you so much, Honorable. His name is the Honorable Godfrey Kwambale Kabyanga. He is the State Minister for National Guidance under the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. And as you heard, they have a lot as the ministry in as far as the young people are concerned. I was looking at percentages. We are the biggest users of digital platforms and ICT. That is the young people. So really giving him an opportunity to hear from what they have in as far as they are concerned as the Ministry of ICT was very crucial. We shall be talking to other dignitaries whose responsibility is in line with issues to do with the young people, especially in this beautiful country of ours, as the day goes by. Let us give you a glimpse of the entertainment here. We thank you so much for watching UBC TV, and keep it with us. We shall have the whole event live till the end.
Can we have a tweet from the band? Band. Meanwhile, there are a number of places of convenience. If you look behind our tents, especially the main tent,
We are still coming to you live from Kigeze High School in Kabale District, where we are bringing you live the national event to celebrate International Youth Day 2023. Like I said, we are going to be talking to technocrats and officials in the Ministry of Gender, under whom the business to do with the young people is, to get to know why the celebrations here in Uganda were shifted to the 17th of August and not the official day that is known, that was officiated and designated in 1998 and confirmed in 1999. It is a colorful event, as you can see on your screen, and any time from now we are expecting His Excellency the President, who is the chief guest today. Now, to tell you a little about Kabale District, the national population, it is a district from the region of Kigezi. It hosts the district headquarters. It was originally part of Kigezi district before the districts of Rukunjiri, Kanungu, Kisoro, Rubanda and Ruchiga were excised and carved off to separate and to form different districts. Kabale is sometimes nicknamed as Caston. That is in the local language, in a slang kind of language. Yes. The National Population Census and Household Survey of 27th August 2014 enumerated the population of the district at 230,609 people. The Uganda Bureau of Statistics estimated the district population as constituted on the 1st of July 2020 at 248,700 people. Of those, 120 are estimated to be males, and the remaining 128,700 are estimated to be females. It is a home for so many prominent people. You saw me with David Bahati, Amama Mbabazi, Ruhakana Rugunda, Ezra Sruma, Emmanuel Tumusime Mutebile, the late former Governor Bank of Uganda, Shemba Gaine, a politician, Professor George Kanyeihamba, that's the former judge, and so many others. So like I said, the Ministry of Gender is the ministry under whom the issues to do with the young people in this country are concerned. So we want to know, how are they handling the business to do with the young people? I'm going to talk to the permanent secretary of the ministry. His name is Mr. Agre Chibenge, and he's going to tell us a lot. Sir, you're most welcome. You're live on UBC TV.
Yeah, my pleasure, and congratulations to the youth of this country on this commemoration day of the International Youth Day. It's belatedly being celebrated. It should have been last weekend on 12th of August, but it was for good reasons, because Kabale had an equally important function and we didn't want to mix up the events. So that is why we are here today. We are expecting His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda to join. He will officiate as the chief guest. We are happy with the reception we've received in Kabale, and the young people are right to expect that from this point going forward, we have been engaging with them. And 2 days ago, we had a meeting in State House where all representatives of the districts, the district chairpersons and members of the National Youth Council met His Excellency the President. They shared on a number of issues, challenges the youth are facing, issues of employment, issues of economic empowerment. There are programs that government has put in place to support livelihoods, to support participation of the youth within the economy. Programs like the Youth Livelihoods Program, which is being boosted now with the parish development model. Under the parish development model, as you know, 30% of the resources that government is deploying is targeting the young people. But this is in addition to the residual funding under the YLP. I'm calling it residual because the Youth Livelihoods Program has been in existence for almost 10 years. And within the 10 years, youth groups have benefited. The challenge we have, which has been shared, is that of recovery. But understandably, because within that period, we did suffer the COVID pandemic and the lockdown that followed, and that slowed down a lot of work in the economy, not only for the youth.
How big is the gap in the negative in as far as the recovery is concerned? Because yesterday I was reading a story about the same. Yes. So you can clear the air. How big is the gap in the negative in as far as the recovery is concerned of the Youth Livelihood Program?
Of course, over time, the resources that have been deployed are up to about 160 billion within that period of time. But what people are looking at as a gap for us is also the fact that within the program, youth are not expected to be paying back immediately. They have a grace period within which they invest these resources and bring back the resources by the third year. And then they can borrow more, and whatever is returned is then again plowed back to the youth groups. So the recovery performance within the youth, I think, is up to about 40% level compared to the women, because the women have also been receiving these funds. Women have done much better, I think close to about 60% in terms of recovery. And all we are doing is to reprogram that recovery with the local authorities, because the local authorities work directly with these young people. And the other challenge, of course, the local authorities had is the resources they also require to keep following up, monitoring the program, their facilitation.
Something to do with the recovery.
Yeah.
Almost all these programs have faced this setback in as far as recovery is concerned. As the ministry and people that run these programs, in the first place, why is the problem recurring with all other? You mentioned even with the women livelihood arrangement, there is that problem. The Myoga may not be under you, but still the problem was there. What could be that common factor that affects recovery? Yes, you mentioned COVID-19, but some programs have happened even before COVID-19. So what is that common factor, and what kind of drug or solution could you come up with as the ministry, the technical people handling?
I think in the case of the youth, what is coming out clear is the nature of beneficiaries we are dealing with. Youth by their nature, young people still finding their footing in society, still trying to make ends meet, adding up looking at several options. So even when they come together as a group, it's not uncommon to find some jumping out of the communities where they benefited from, looking for employment elsewhere, looking for opportunities, and that has made it a little difficult. I think in the military they talk of trying to hit a moving target. In the case of the young people, they are a moving target, and you have to keep close with them, you have to keep encouraging them, you have to keep educating them and help them grow, because they are growing in responsibility. As they borrow, they are also expected to recognize the fact that when you take resources borrowed, you must invest them wisely. Some of them probably make choices of investment which don't work out. And being a largely agricultural country, the biggest percentage of the investment of these young people is in agriculture-related projects. And you know, with agriculture, which is common now across board, not only youth, but women and all the other beneficiaries of these empowerment funds, there's a lot that still has to be done. The nature of extension services and support they have, the fact that we are largely relying on rain-fed agriculture, crops fail, the choice, rather the seed, quality of seed people use, there are all these kind of challenges that come along. But that in itself does not mean we abandon the effort to work with the communities. On the part of government, I think we have the responsibility to make it work. Yes, continue providing support services, continue with support supervision, monitoring them, providing them guidance, technical guidance and support in time, and see, but also where something is not working, take timely decisions in terms of what the alternatives and options may be. So this cuts across all programs.
Before giving out this money, you are blamed, not you the person, but you the handlers, the technical people that drive these programs. You are blamed of not preparing the beneficiaries with enough information before giving them the money. I find it reflecting in your explanation. What do you think?
The process of identifying the beneficiaries is very elaborate. It involves stakeholders at the community level. It involves identification of what kind of project would work best in the context where they are. There are support services, including training by the relevant people at that level, because we have the experts at local government level who work with these groups, and as I said, who are supposed to continuously follow up, because training is not a one-off. You might give the training before, but in the process of implementation of a project, there are a lot of other challenges that come up. I've been, for example, involved in poultry. I've been trying to do some poultry. And my experience, yes, at a personal level, my experience is that it's one thing to prepare one for a poultry project. It's another when you start the journey now of rearing the birds, taking care of them. There are a lot of other issues that are unforeseen that may come in. And this is where you need these services to be continuous. So government and all the actors that are extending services to the projects, not only of youth, but of the women, of all the other beneficiaries of the government investments within the communities, must have this at the back of their minds. The training, the skilling, the supervision must be continuous until you get people to a point that they are realizing what they expect out of these investments. They are able to break even. You even need to induct them into the culture of saving, because you might realize what you expected, but are they saving it, or are they putting it to other requirements? Exactly. So all this is part of the work that we must continuously do. It's not going to be a one-off. It is something we must be prepared for. Yes.
Now, every year as we celebrate this day, you launch some program or something like that. Is there any initiative 2023? What is it about? And if you could share.
On this particular occasion, we will be launching a UN joint program that targets young people, adolescent youth, in terms of skills, in terms of education, in terms of improving their livelihoods, in terms of how we can deal with contemporary challenges of livelihoods, of climate change, and whatever that the young people are faced with, even challenges of unemployment. So it's a big program where about 13 UN agencies have come together. and are going to work with the ministry responsible for gender, labor and social development. And actually some of these challenges we are talking about are going to be integrated into the training, into the mentoring that will take place under that program, as well as, of course, looking at their responsible growth and development. Youth have a myriad of challenges. Take the young girls in schools. They'll be also signing that agreement, and hopefully in the near future we'll see that secretariat established.
As Agre Chibenge, now not PS, what would be your message to a young man at campus, a fresh graduate, he's now getting out of the door, looking at the world? You had that experience, you have passed through it, you even have people under you whose kind of experience you are watching. I'm now not talking to PS in this small segment. What would be your message to that young man watching you on TV right now?
I think
the chairman, the national chairman of the NRM vice chairperson, that is Haji Moses Chigongo. Please enjoy the event. It's UBC TV inspiring Uganda.
Our chief guest at this year's International Youth Day, His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, has reached the celebrations venue. President is being received by Her Excellency the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, the Vice Chairman NRM, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Members of Parliament, the service chiefs, and various dignitaries here present. His Excellency, anthems. East African Community Anthem. His Excellency is going to be invited to inspect the parade. The parade commander is moving forward to invite His Excellency to inspect the parade.
Mheshimiwa Rais, parade iliyopo mbele wako ya kusherekewa siku ya vijana wa kimataifa huandaliwa na askari wa kutunza sheria na amri na askari magereza. Simama kwa mstari tatu kwa vikundi 17 wako tayari kwa ukaguzi wako, Mheshimiwa Rais.
His Excellency the President now proceeds to inspect the parade. After inspection of the parade, he will also inspect the exhibition stalls before proceeding to his seat. We want to welcome everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency, for finding time to be with us.
President alikuza kurambure nyiriri mwenu mwena mwebare kandi musime President kuba nitwe rizoba.
Learning without training leaves a half-baked person. And government has made a lot of efforts to ensure that our youth are not only learned, but actually trained. In the post-COVID era, government has had a number of interventions. According to Uganda Bureau of Statistics, the size of Uganda's economy expanded from 184 trillion in the financial year between 20 to 22 and from 162.7 trillion financial year 2021-22, representing a growth rate from the 4.6% during which was going on during COVID. To build an already remarkable economic progress registered so far, the budget for the financial year 2023-24, which was delivered on June 15, 2023, brought a lot of hope for future economic growth. And this marries better into the 2030 vision. The theme of the budget, as a reminder, was full mobilization of Uganda's economy through commercial agriculture, industrialization, expanding and broadening services, digital transformation, and market access. The key priorities in the budget, especially focusing on the performance of the youth, including boosting household income and micro enterprises, commercializing agriculture, to enhance production and productivity and improve competitiveness of agricultural products, supporting private sector growth, investing in the people of Uganda, improving the stock and quality of infrastructure, and expediting implementation of the strategic interventions in innovation, research and development, and the mineral and the gas industry. We all know agriculture is the backbone of this economy. About 70% of the population is involved in it, and a lot of attention has been given to that. We all know the youth livelihood projects that have been ongoing. Even other programs have indirectly been benefiting the youth, including the parish development models. As the theme reads, that we are targeting the 2030 agenda, the young people have played a big role in the uptake of available government interventions. the involvement in awareness creation campaign, efforts in tackling issues such as education, poverty reduction, gender equality, security, environmental sustainability, entrepreneurship, innovations and technology steadily contributes to the attainment of the 2030 agenda for sustainable development goals. The manifestation is in the integration of the sustainable development goals into the local project, more especially focusing on the youth. There are different structures under which young people exercise their roles in the national development. The youth councils, the youth representation at Parliament of Uganda, the Uganda National Students Association, the youth networks, International Youth Day commemoration is held annually to celebrate these achievements and others, and have a prioritization of youth issues for the year ahead. The Commonwealth Youth Forum is convened every 3 years for young people to build connections across the countries and form linkages, develop initiatives led by young people. So far, the President is witnessing for himself the innovations displayed by the exhibitors, having concluded the inspection of the parade, and from there then he will inspect the bands and then proceed to his seat. But like I said initially, please have time, check on the exhibitions. Learning never stops. You can repeat something for yourself. As I've been saying, we have more platforms that are available for youth with opportunities to participate in the political governance, economic and social development, and therefore they marry into the main theme of targeting Agenda 2030.
Naomba kuendelea na gwaride, Mheshimiwa Rais.
His Excellency is now in inspections. But apparently there is one of the tents, the part of the tents that required more time, and for that matter is witness for himself how much advancement the youth, especially of Kigezi and Uganda, have gone in advancing technology, in advancing in innovations. I hereby invite my colleague in the Lunyangolo Chiga to explain a few things what is going on.
Aliyo alikurambura emyeso ningashi ebintu bimwe ebyebinyete basize kubera kora umwebezi w'iyanga alikurambura umwereso kandi ashagatirwe vice president ningashi omuhwezi w'umwebezi w'ihanga ashagatirwe na ba minister Honorable Minister David Bahati, Kadari NRM Chairperson wa Kabale, Abwena State Minister for Industry. Bantuwe, omwebembezi w'iyanga ari kureba ebintu bikozirwe, ebimwe aribyo bintu eby'abana bintu bakozire kandi kwaramale ku rugamwereso araza kugumiza amarashitama ari kurambura umwereso mundikirize nyakire eminyeto yona nyakire eminyeto ya Kabale eyarugaheruye Kitawuni twakire eminyeto ya Rukiga eminyeto ya Rubanda abaruka Kanungu Rukungiri n'abaruka Kisoro mwebare kwisha kandi tugumize muturakira hamwe n'ababona abija basherekeza eminyeto turamanya ngaka Kabale district ndi twineho ubwebezi bwa movement uri hano ya twineho ba sub county chairpersons twineho LCC chairpersons nabo bija basherekeza eminyeto ariko ku mukoro our district councillors na sub-county councillors nabo bija basherekeza eminyeto arunaku rwo kujaguza eminyeto mu Uganda twineho abebembezi b'amadini nabo bari hano ba reverends n'aba pastors hamwe n'abafaza twine eminyeto eya Youth League ningashi eminyeto erebembera mu kibina munda mu movement erebembirwe chairman w'eminyeto abwa Kabale Sheikh Kasim Kamutisha Gandariwe RCC Wanakawa Division na Vice weye Pamela bona bali hano ya kandi biza kushemererwa n'eminyeto webale.
For information, our parade commander today is Superintendent of Police at Kwase Alex, and he happens to be a flight captain from the police air wing. The parade TYC is Assistant Superintendent of Police Kazungu Betty. The parade adjutant is Assistant Superintendent of Prisons Nabayunga Rosemary, and the parade RCM is Sergeant Oram Patrick.
Yes.
I request that we all rise to receive His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda. Excellency, you are welcome.
President of the Republic of Uganda. Would like to welcome you. Allow me, Your Excellency, to welcome you here and to invite the religious leaders, Bishop Gadi Akanjuna of the Diocese of Kigezi, and the Chief Kadi Kabale, Mr. Kaddu, to come and lead us in a word of prayer. Lead us in a word of prayer, to ask for blessings of God, and to guide us and to guide His Excellency the President through his leadership. We want to thank you, Your Excellency, for having found time to come. Bishop.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, we welcome you to Kigezi region, and particularly to Kigezi grounds that are found at Kigezi High School. Before I pray, Your Excellency, I have a document that I have written, and Irene will hand it over to you. But we welcome you heartily. Thank you for honoring Kigezi to come and witness this function. Let us pray. Father, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, we thank you for this day, the day that you set aside for Kigezi. Thank you for the journey mercies that you have granted to us, particularly to His Excellency that has come to officiate this function. For the youth, thank you for the youth of Uganda, and thank you for the heart of the President. His coming today marks a lot, and we shall not remain the same. We call upon your guidance, dear Lord, as we gather together, as we celebrate this day, this great day in Kigezi and in Uganda. May you show your presence, dear Lord. May you give us your Holy Spirit to guide us as we celebrate this day, so that you will bring glory to your name, control every other activity that is going to take place, so that, dear Lord, you'll always be with us. And at the end of it all, the glory belongs to you. Be with us, dear Lord, and continue to be with us. Those who have activities, may you breathe through them so that they perform according to your will. Through Jesus Christ, I've been able to pray.
Amen.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful. Praise is to Him, the Lord of the worlds, most gracious, most merciful, Master of the day of judgment. You alone we worship, and you alone we seek for help. Guide us, O Lord, on the right path. Lord, we thank you for His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda. We thank you for the First Lady, the Vice President, and all other leaders at the different levels. Lord, we thank you for the guidance you gave to the Parliament of Uganda during the enactment of the anti-homosexuality bill and the subsequent signing by His Excellency the President. Almighty Allah, bless our President as he leads us, grant him good health, and may you answer his prayers. Bless the youth, the children, and the parents of this country. Grant us security. In thy name we pray. Thank you.
Your Excellency, distinguished guests, parade will do a march past, both in slow and quick time. And with your permission, sir, I invite the parade commander take post.
Parade! Kwa mwendo Paul Saxon Bere Tembe. Here. Yes. Sira Begane Wik. Parley! Why not another some stall? So cold, Mr. Dangerous! Warday! Why not a song of air with smoke? Woman, Rakop, Sakot, Mere, Timil. Warday! Salam, Sarais, Eshma, Tuk. Kwa rais wa Uganda, wananchi wa Uganda na vijana wa Uganda. Viva rais wa Uganda! Viva wananchi wa Uganda! Viva vijana wa Uganda! Warday! Kofi Aktwani wako! Warday! Padishah slow! Go pande! Where? Legaz.
Mureke tutere engaro z'amani twebaze aba paredi. Tere engaro z'amani. Aba paredi mwebare munonga. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, ogoli kugambira mu misho gawe ni Tadeo Taremwa, Chairman w'eminyeto habwa Kabale. Kandi Your Excellency, keminyeto ya Kabale haronko kutwetegwire kukwakira, and with your permission introduction, sir, Your Excellency, allow me to let you know that we have two groups to entertain you. And Your Excellency, with your permission, I would like to invite Bishop Asiri to give you some entertainment. Thank you.
We should drive
mwebale munonga ba Bishop Asiri, mwebale kandi abantu muterera abijukuru ba His Excellency mu ngaro. His Excellency aba barya bijukuru bawe ba Bishop Asiri, kandi ndagira ngo rareba mama umurimo gwari gukora mu kitongore cyo bwegese kuno gw'amani, ngwenu wayikayo nawe omutusimire Your Excellency. Your Excellency no rusarwa orundi reka nyakire abakigeze high school nabo bakwereke ngo abijukuru bawe tucina amani.
Everybody, congratulations! Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen! Upon celebration of the youth of Uganda, you are warmly welcome to the sweetest land of Africa. Feel at home, relax, and enjoy the weather. As we think about our recovery from COVID-19, we lost our dear ones, lockdown strained us, work became stunted, but we survived. Vaccination against the virus, preventive measures taken, treatment, care, SOPs observed, a surety to all youth, the old and the young, for prolonged health, health for wealth, wealth for all, agenda achieved by 2030.
As we think about our recovery from COVID-19, let the challenge rise in our hearts. Yes, we are recovering from the effects of the pandemic, but what's the way forward for our future? Let our hearts plan as our minds think and our hands work to achieve the Vision 2040. Food production, how can we increase it? Yes, resources we have, but how can we harness utilization? Let families work together, helping one another. Let there be no time to waste at all. Let us produce, let us process, let us add value and boost our trade. Hey everyone, it's high time we rally behind our president, His Excellency Tibuhaburwa Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. We, the youth, are getting ready. So, when in relay receive the baton, we shall have politically matured for a peaceful transition, sustainable leadership, safeguarded leadership, and streamlined leadership. For God and my country, I serve.
Remarkable progress we have to maintain. commercial farming,
industrialization,
service delivery,
for market access,
above it all,
digital transformation,
remarkable progress,
we have to maintain
commercial farming,
industrialization,
service delivery,
for market access,
above it all,
digital transformation. Now youth of Uganda, we have a lot to play to move ahead and hold the blessing of Allah. So no more time to wait. We use our brains and hearts to be what we should be by 2030. We will do it through the youth council, the youth network, the youth parliament, and common voting forum. We will do it through Uganda National Students Association. Let's aim to learn successfully. The youth of Uganda, we have a lot to play to move ahead and hold the blessing of Allah. So no more time to wait. We use our brains and hearts to be what we should be by 2030. Hey, 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 she gets in high school. Oh, 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 she gets in high school. Hey, 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 I serve. Oh, 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 I serve.
mwebare aba Kigezi High School, mwebare munonga kandi Your Excellency, Kigezi High School n'isomero ry'amani na Honorable David Bahati niyo yayejeire. Your Excellency, erizoba twakweshongorera turakuraganisa nko ryagaruka turyakuzinira. Your Excellency, as we proceed according to program and with your permission, I request to invite on behalf of the youth of Uganda, the chairperson of the National Youth Council of Uganda, to speak to Your Excellency. Your Excellency, as the chairperson of the youth arrives, would like to inform you that as youth of Kabale and Kigezi, we thank you so much for what you've done for the youth. But this time around, we also request you to provide us with an ICT hub so that we can improve the ICT literacy among the youth. And therefore, in addition to that, Your Excellency, we have developed a concept which we shall be giving to you later about digital literacy in Kigezi, where we are targeting the youth in the informal sector. They are uneducated, and we shall be moving. This is to prevent our youth from digital fraudsters, abusers, and Ponzi schemes. Your Excellency, with your permission, if you will grant, I will bring this concept to your office at a later date, and I hope you will communicate about this. Thank you, Your Excellency. In representing the youth of Uganda, the chairman of the National Youth Council, the formidable, unspeakable in Jacob Ayer.
Your Excellency, I'd like to invite the members of the National Executive here present to join us. For those that are there, please join us. Your Excellency, we got an emergency with one of the members from Karamoja. They had never experienced Kabale. So when they arrived one night, I think the fresh air was different. So they struggled a bit, and they had an emergency. So a section of our membership went to help him. Your Excellency, the President, the Vice President, the Vice Chairperson of the NRM, the Cabinet Ministers present, the ministers of state, the members of parliament here present, the representatives of the different development partners, and by that I know that there are various resident representatives of different UN agencies here, the members of the National Youth Council here present, ladies and gentlemen, banakabale mwena mwebale okutwakira. Your Excellency, the theme for this day is taken from a national perspective. The international theme for the International Youth Day 2023 is Green Skills for Youth Towards a Sustainable World. But the theme for Uganda is context specific. It is accelerating recovery from COVID-19 and full implementation of the 2030 agenda, the role of the youth. Your Excellency, to speak about the role of the youth, I need to just identify for you the people we have gathered here. I have the pleasure to notify you of the presence of the Uganda National Students Association National Executive, led by the President. Where are you? Please wave to His Excellency. Your Excellency, this is a special celebration. The National Youth Council, along with partners, created a multi-party youth forum to agree between youth leaders in political parties on things that cannot separate the agenda of development in Uganda. And today, for the first time ever, we have the leaders of opposition political party youth wings here. We have the chairperson of the youth wing of the JEMA party. Please wave to the President. He's seated very far on the other side. We have the chairperson of the Youth League of the Democratic Party, Mr. Ishmael Kiria. Please wave to the President. We have the chairperson of the Youth League of the People's Progressive Party. Please wave to the President. Your Excellency, we have representation of Comrade Gaddafi Nasuru, who couldn't be with us. He sent Mr. Kasumba to represent him as the chairperson of the NRM Youth League. Mr. Kasumba, please wave to the President. He's not very gifted in height, so you might not see him easily. Your Excellency, we have the representative of the chairperson of the UPC Party Youth League here. Faizo, please wave to the President. I don't know where he's seated. Okay, I see UPC has 2 people. And FDC, are they here? All right. Your Excellency, we are still convincing NUP to be joining these events because it's important for us to agree on certain things of national development. The young people that have just sung here from the primary school have finished my speech. They said the youth are the engine. The children sang while the youth sat and the youth leaders sat and told us that the youth are the engine. Your Excellency, in every country's development, we believe that the most productive labor force is the energetic, but not just energetic, ideologically consistent labor force. And in that regard, Your Excellency, we need to appreciate you for some of the things that have been started. Number one, you met the leadership of the district youth councils yesterday at State House. And I want to thank you for the historic meeting that has never happened of hosting all district youth chairpersons and imparting in them an ideological message. But Your Excellency, those are very few of what we need to impart into. There are 2 solutions. Number one, I suggest, Your Excellency, that you continue into a national program to meet youth leaders at regional level with the message that you gave us yesterday for the youth to appreciate their responsibility in wealth creation. Youth counselors, there are student leaders, there are other district leaders who are not chairpersons, and they all want to listen and interact with the president. So a national program on regional basis, we can always manufacture an arrangement and proceed with it for those to all attend. Your Excellency, the youth population also requires to always be a serving population patriotically. With the Multi-Party Youth Forum, we agreed that the idea of a national youth service scheme must not be abandoned. I thank you for the Chankwanzi retreats. We see so many of them, and now we see so many government agencies taking staff there. But that starts from the fact that the staff were never there. They have never gone through ideological nurturing and ideological training. We believe that for someone to get educated in our education system, they must also be educated in patriotic reasoning before they can join public service. And in line with that belief, we believe that it is important for us to have the National Youth Service Scheme as a prerequisite to public service. People that enter public office to serve Ugandans should have been trained in patriotic discipline and ideology. Sometimes the army that guides the training at Chankwanzi does a very good job in instilling in the memory of these young people what it means to serve your country, and that should not be a preserve of people that are already in service. It should be a nurturing ground for anyone who should be recruited in public service. Your Excellency, I want to bring to you a couple of issues from the youth population. I want to start by notifying you of the work we have been doing. With the help of UNFPA, we have been engaging on the issue of teenage pregnancy. The engagement has been so serious that we have so far moved across 7 of the sub-regions of the country in the first half of the year, and we intend to do at least 14. These engagements are to talk to youth about the dangers of having early pregnancies. But more than that, the mistake of losing out on education, the dropout rate of the girl child is driven by a teenage pregnancy. And we think that as a youth leadership, we must have the engine voice that they have been singing about here to make sure that has been addressed. And I want to thank UNFPA for that support. Your Excellency, I must report to you about UNDP. UNDP has supported the National Youth Council and is continuing to support us with achieving and participating in NDP 3 and the upcoming NDP 4. Madam Elsie Atafwa, the resident representative, is here. UNDP is funding a program to help us with engagement of PDM. Many of the youth leaders at the parish of internet, from $70 to $35 per megabit per second. I want to thank Your Excellency, because this is a strategic decision of government for the future of e-commerce in Uganda. Many of the companies that now own the largest share of resources in the globe, the biggest, the $1 trillion companies, are companies that are working on tech services. And Your Excellency, you've been preaching about the BPO business. You've been preaching about ICT as a driving force and area for job creation. We believe that this strategic decision is going to help us a great deal in ensuring that the young people who are the internet generation can do business in the amorphous market of the online market. Your Excellency, I will now bring to you a couple of issues still disturbing us. Firstly, we watched for a long time the complaints of medical interns. They came to our offices so many times, disturbed the peace of so many offices, and eventually with your guidance, they were able to get deployed. But Your Excellency, it is a recurring problem that we do not want to always deal with. I want to encourage government, Your Excellency, to find a lasting solution to that problem, because they keep disturbing us to talk about the same thing every year of medical intern deployment. if we can have a program that deploys them early at an affordable fee for government, because it's internship that they require as a prerequisite for them to have a practicing certificate, that would be solved. The other issue is the issue of the students' loan scheme. Your Excellency, government under the NRM leadership has educated such a great number of young people. The UPE program reduced the dropout rate from primary school by over 50% of its initial value. But those that continued struggled with secondary education. The NRM government brought in the universal secondary education. Those that went there were encouraged to ensure that they are serious in school because they are studying out of poverty, out of the mercy of government and the responsibility of government to provide education. When they finished, government now started a program of the students' loan scheme. This year, unfortunately, this year, unfortunately, Your Excellency, that program was not funded. We believe that the students' loan scheme goes a long way in helping us eradicate both the small level of access we have to higher education, but also the issue of job creation. Over 13,000 young people have so far been educated under the students' loan scheme, with a prioritization of the science disciplines. Your Excellency, the requirement is that after you study, you begin paying back after 1 year. There is a grace period. When someone has studied on loan, this is a system that educated presidents like Barack Obama, presidents across the globe. Even Mwalimu Nyerere studied in Makerere for free, but it was because someone was loaning the education. Your Excellency, this creates the mindset that the young person cannot go and not find creative ways to make money and pay back their loan. So we believe that the facilitation of the students' loan scheme will go a long way to creating active minds among young people to be able to create jobs. Your Excellency, the issue of the Youth Livelihood Program. I want to thank the members of Cabinet here present for accepting to return the revolving fund to the Youth Livelihood Program that was already collected from the youth themselves. Thank you so much. That program guarantees a rural young person who only knows how to farm to go and be taught how that farming can make money and how the government can give you small capital to start that farming as a commercial venture. Your Excellency, when the revolving fund returned, we gave out over 30 billion to over 10,000 youth in the country of what was collected from the youth. We believe that the revolving fund is a better model than the grant fund. Revolving means the district collecting 100 million and paying back 100 million will receive 100 million. The district collecting 100 million and paying back 50 million will receive 50 million. That creates the responsibility of development at the local level, which then means that the Ugandans in Soroti, where I come from, in Kabale, where Chairman Tadeo and my sister Brenda here come from, will be responsible for the performance of Kabale, which then drives competition, it drives equity, and it drives local responsibility in wealth creation. And we think that's a good program. And we want to advocate government, please recapitalize it next year with some money, as Myoga has been recapitalized, as PDM is also there, and we drive that agenda. Your Excellency, two final points. One is on the work of involving young people in agriculture. We have listened to your message on wealth creation. We know there is no other way young people are going to get jobs apart from a growing private sector. You have taught us that what is for all of us is good and its development. A road is good. You have taught us that a school is good. But you have taught us also that you can have a tarmac road provided in Kabale by the president and cabinet or by whoever funded, and then they use it to dry maize, or in the case of Kabale, to advertise a few Irish potatoes. Your Excellency, it is important that the youth leaders at national level take up the responsibility of the message of wealth creation to the youth. And we are not going to fail you in taking that message to our generation. Because government, and I want to speak to the youth population, government cannot provide enough jobs for all the youth of Uganda in public sector. It must be driven by private sector, and the best private sector is the one you control as an individual. So the 4-acre model, the high value crops, the animal husbandry with mathematics, chibaro, chura, like the president will tell you in more languages, that is the way forward. And the youth must drive that message to every part of the country using our structure. Your Excellency, we will not fail you. And how to ensure we will not fail you is to reinstate the 4 billion of the National Youth Council, which was cut. Your Excellency, you assured us yesterday that that must be reinstated this financial year. Honorable Musasis is here. His doors are always open to us. We thank him. And he works in the Ministry of Finance, serving the Ugandans. He will take the message further from you as you sent it to the Cabinet Minister at State House on Wednesday. Your Excellency, the final issue is on the environment. We want to thank you for your ban on the charcoal business. The rhetoric on climate action cannot just be rhetoric for paper. As you can see, Your Excellency, the Minister of State for Youth was telling me Kabale has never been this brown. The grass in Kabale is always green. And she said even in Chisoro, the grass is no longer green because of the climate situation. We believe that strong emphasis must be given to working on national efforts to achieve our nationally determined agreements on climate issues. And I think we are going to be there with you, Excellency. We thank you. But the transition away from charcoal must be a just transition. And we thank you for standing your ground on the crude oil pipeline and on the oil sector in Uganda. Because unless we are able to mobilize financing for opportunities, we cannot mobilize financing to address climate action. It is true that many of the countries that are telling Uganda to not fund the crude oil pipeline are also the very ones who have the highest emission rates globally. For those that do not know, our crude oil pipeline will not emit more in the length of 30 years than countries like France emit in 1 year, in 1 month. So as Ugandans, we must have a conversation with the globe on a just transition. The poorer countries must exploit our resources to enable us have the capacity to engage on the global scene with global goals. Your Excellency, in regard to that, we are also aware of the funding cut by the World Bank. Your Excellency, as the youth of Uganda, we want to say very clearly, we know 67 countries that have laws similar to the one which was passed by our parliament. They never received a cut. We know countries where even expressing yourself as a woman, what Ugandans do for comedy, to play as a woman, is banned in some countries. The list is very present on the internet, but the World Bank has never cut their money. So this cut by the World Bank on our money is unfair. It is unfair because in the globe, not all countries with such laws have their money cut. And I thought the Ugandans here would clap for that reality. Your Excellency, as you engage the World Bank like you guided to return to the table, we believe that the young population must now recognize their responsibility not to require future aid in this country.
they must, and I'm speaking to my fellow young people, we must take up the responsibility to nurture a country where our contribution collects enough taxes that we do not need aid. There are countries that provide aid and there are countries that receive aid. We must find a way with youth energy to join the work that leads to a country that does not need aid. That way we can create the laws against the persuasions of Ugandans in their majority, and even if some of us think in a minority, that democratic guarantee will be present in parliament. That democratic guarantee of dissent must be present in the public, as the NRM government has already brought it. But we will not be challenged when the majority position has to carry the day. I want to thank Your Excellency. I want to stop here in the interest of time, and now introduce for you, Your Excellency, the members here, because they joined me while I was already speaking. Your daughter here is, okay, they want to introduce their names.
Your Excellency, before I introduce myself, last month we lost one of our great mobilizer, Apollo Nyegamahe. He was from Luchiga, Muhanga. I request to observe a moment of silence because Apollo was a friend to many young people. He employed many people. So nandashaba twemerere dachikemwe omwoyo gwa Apollo Nyegamahe tuguhe ekitinisa. May the soul of Apollo Nyegamahe rest in peace. Your Excellency, I'm Kichoncho Brenda, Secretary for Female Affairs National Youth Council and also a board member of National Women Council. Your Excellency, I request 2 minutes to represent you some issues because this is my district, my constituency. I request I say 2 words as I welcome also my fellow young people. Your Excellency, to in a whole youth councillors from all districts of Uganda were not recognized. They are there. And I also request you also invite them like you invited us to State House through the youth minister so that they come and visit you in State House interview. Your Excellency, I would like to introduce one of the FDC members and also the MP of this constituency, Honorable Nicholas Kamala. I'm happy you're here today to welcome our president and you believe in his ideology. Nicholas Kamala, FDC Member of Parliament, wave to our president. We welcome you the NRM party. Your Excellency, when you were in Kigezi in November 2020 campaigning, we requested you 2 things and we are happy you fulfilled them. The first one was border opening. Many young people were suffering. Akatale katuna border chinjire koka excess. As we are here today, as you return back after your election the first time, I'm here to report to you the border is fully open, fully operating. Young people are working. Ndajala banyakigezi tutele president engalo zamani habwo kwigula katale na border ya katuna. Another thing, Your Excellency, the iron ore factory requested you to put a factory, and I talk now, everything is in the process. The factory is going to be set, and the iron ore man, Miss Honorable Kamont, is here. People have been compensated, and the factory is in progress. I think we thank the President for that. Your Excellency, the last one, enshonga ya mashanyarazi omulika bale. Your Excellency, mashanyarazi gabira mashanyarazi. I'm shocked that today electricity is there. Ndajaba manyori kwishabajaka tugalekeho. Businesses ifire omulika bale habwa mashanyarazi. Amashanyarazi gabira amashanyarazi. President wo lagamba nitwe ogambira bukira kwataho enshonga za mashanyarazi bazikoleho. Kwanga kabale amashanyarazi turagale balimwo mu wiki okwezi kuwewo tutala amashanyarazi natwagamba ati nekirakogwa. So enshonga y'amashanyarazi, the issue of electricity in Kabale should be addressed with immediate effect because it's affecting many businesses in Kabale. Lastly, I want to thank our Honorable Minister Betty Amongi and your team from Ministry of Gender for allowing to host this International Youth Day in Kabale. We thank you very much. We also want to thank our chairman, NRM, Akafuzi Kitu, Honorable David Bahati, webale kukunda minyeto, webale kunda NRM, webale kushagatira NRM, omuli Kabale yite jimpa. Nenda nokwebaza Minister Wit, our daughter here, Minister for State for Youth, Honorable Sarah Mateke, thank you for hosting Youth Day in Kabale. Thank you for bringing this big function to our region. We thank you very much. Lastly, I want to thank the Permanent Secretary and your team organizing committee. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming to Kabale. President Yowel, we say we are going to support you. We still love you. Abachiga balajirangu, oyegumira hangoma. Oyegumira hangoma Yoweli. Oyegumira hangoma Yoweli. Niwe tuire ni twenda, niwe tulendo otukulembere mpaka. We love you. Even in 2026, young people are ready to support you. Even senior leaders, we thank you. Also, our former leader, Nasa Mukwaya, is here. And our current ES and the Executive Secretary, Angelo Agnes, with national youth delegates from all the countries, stand up and wave to the President for allowing to be with us today. We thank you very much. Thank you for coming. May you rule forever Uganda and Africa at large. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Your Excellency, my name is Kidega Moses. I come from Gulu District, and I am the National Secretary for Labor to the National Youth Council. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the President of Uganda. My name is Wilson Oto, and I'm the General Secretary of the National Youth Council. I come from Agago District.
Your Excellency, just to introduce to you the people, we have a delegation of the Afro-Arab Youth Council led by the Honorable Dr. Abdul Hadi Lahwek and your son, Honorable Agaba Abbas. Please rise up and wave to the President with your delegation. Then, Your Excellency, my sister Brenda has touched on it. We have Dr. Shaft Nasa Mukwaya here. As I briefed you on Wednesday, Dr. Shaft Nasa left the National Youth Council. The National Youth Council had become synonymous with him. Your Excellency, later today you will launch the commemorative events towards the celebration of 30 years of youth leadership in the National Youth Council, which we will do next year. And at that occasion, we will award Dr. Shaft Nasa Mukwaya a deserving award. But because he came to Kabale, I promised him that if he comes, I will give him a photo opportunity at request with the President for his 25 years. So, Excellency, I request that Dr. Shaft Nasa Mukwaya receives a photo opportunity today. Then we can be able to. Your Excellency, with your permission. Thank you so much. I thought the youth would clap harder. Thank you, Your Excellency. I therefore thank you, and I wish the youth of Uganda fruitful deliberations on all the issues of consequence to the generation. I thank you.
Monday! Go through! Go put up!
ndagira mwareba eminyeto kwe namani orugwaro rwo rubazo rwa mukuru w'eminyeto habwihanga kandi Your Excellency ndagira nkuwareba ko yine mobilizer wa mani muri Kigezi Chichoncho Brenda. Your Excellency, ndenda kumanyisa nti hanuya twineho LC5 chairperson wa Kabale Shanga Bashisha Nelson ari watutayayisize ayemerera kuhubire ahashitami. Your Excellency hanuya twineho na meya wa Kabale municipality OHT Nisa Centaro Byamugisha nawe akuhubireho Your Excellency. Your Excellency twineho na LC5 chairperson wa Rubanda OHT Nisa Steven Kasaba. Your Excellency ndahendere shitweka ndenda kusima munonga abwo kugira ngo mulitwe okaronda memanzi zo kutujekera mu cabinet kandi turahurira turashaba ngo yongeremo ko kurebera wowe kitinisa twineho narebo ka muntu munywani w'eminyeto nayo wamushundikayo birabyabonera twineyo naho narebo Roland Bishi akwatanisize na Catherine Ndamira kora abatuhe nambweno ndamangoli hi kurabya mu rwiko twareba mu honarebo ka muntu nabandi turaza kushemererwa. Your Excellency wotagarukire kushuba kuririra karyanje ninyeta Deo Taremwa chairman w'eminyeto abwa Kabale kandi we kitinisa ko kutaya isize nanye ndi kumara nandashaba ngo mpe akagisha nanye mbona kashani niwe owe kitinisa.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Tadeo. Thank you very much for being part of this team. Your Excellency, we do a lot of work with the UN fraternity. And the UN fraternity is here in big numbers. And we want to thank the UN agencies for being with us. We have the UN Resident Coordinator's Office, we have UNFPA, we have UNDP, we have UN Women, we have UNCHR, we have IOM, we have UNICEF, we have World Health Organization, we have UNCDF, and we have UNODC. Your Excellency, all these agencies have been good to the young people. But permit me invite the resident coordinator, the UN resident coordinator, who is represented here by the UNFPA country representative, Dr. Mary Otieno, to come and speak to us, accompanied by the UNDP representative, Eris Atafua, and the UN Women representative, Paulina Chiwangu. Later in the day, Your Excellency, you will be launching a program which is being funded by all the UN agencies, the UN joint program on young people and the adolescent. So let's clap for the UN for doing a very good job among the young people, among the Minyento in this country. They are all ladies, and so we shall talk about the gender issues later. But these are powerful women who have done a lot of service to young people here. Karibu.
Your Excellency, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, the Vice President, Honorable Jessica Alupo, NRM Vice Chairman, Honorable Moses Kigongo, Honorable Dr. Abdul Hadi, President of Afro-Arab Youth Council and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Libya, Honorable Minister of Gender, and other ministers present here, members of Parliament, service chiefs, religious leaders, Your Excellencies and diplomats present, my UN colleagues, civil society organizations, all the young people present here today, the press, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to join you today at this significant event to commemorate the International Youth Day under the global theme, Green Skills for Youth Towards a Sustainable World. I will be making these remarks, as it has been said, on behalf of the UN system in Uganda. The resident coordinator, Ms. Namondo, is out of the country. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the UN system and collaborating agencies supporting youth-focused programs in Uganda, I wish to commend the government of the Republic of Uganda, as well as the people of Uganda, for the continued efforts to secure the future potentials of adolescents and young people through enabling policies and programs. The 12th of August was first designated as International Youth Day by the UN General Assembly in 1999, and ever since, Uganda has continued to commemorate the annual celebrations in recognition of the country's youthful population, who are indispensable partners in development. The commemoration has also continued to serve as an opportunity to educate the public on issues of concern, to mobilize political will and resources to address global problems, and to accelerate and reinforce achievements of humanity. This year, we are celebrating it a week later in Uganda. In his message for International Youth Day, the UN Secretary General, Mr. Antonio Guterres, notes that across all of today's challenges, young people are calling for bold and accelerated action, standing in solidarity with the most vulnerable and designing solutions to ensure social, economic, and climate justice and peace and prosperity for all. He goes on to say that this year's global theme, Green Skills for Youth Towards a Sustainable World, reminds us of the importance of ensuring young people gain and apply skills in the burgeoning green economy. From innovative sustainable technologies and renewable energy to revolutions in transportation systems and industrial activity, young people must be equipped with skills and knowledge to shape a cleaner, greener, more climate resilient future. Humanity depends on the boundless energy, ideas, and contributions of youth everywhere. He concludes by saying that today and every day, let us support and stand with young people to make their own choices about their lives and in shaping a just and sustainable world for people and planet. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, our national theme this year is accelerating recovery from COVID-19 and full implementation of the 2030 Agenda, the role of youth, which is extremely relevant in today's world of 1.9 billion young people, most of whom live in developing countries. Half of the people on our planet are 30 or younger, and this is expected to reach 57% by the end of 2030. In Uganda, this number is even higher at 76%. This young population means that there is a potential population momentum for future economic growth once we invest intentionally in critical sectors such as health, education, and employment, enabling the country to reap a demographic dividend. This makes young people crucial agents in the achievement of Uganda's development goals and Vision 2040. The COVID-19 pandemic had dire effects on the world, but its effect on youth were unequivocal. A global survey on youth and COVID-19 conducted by ILO in 2020 revealed that the pandemic not only led to increased rates of unemployment among youth aged 15 to 24 years, but also reduced the rates of working hours by 23%, even among those who were employed. In Uganda, during the COVID-19 pandemic, adolescent girls were deprived of the social protection that school offers and were exposed to increased risks of sexual violence, exploitation, and abuse, child marriages, and teenage pregnancies, like we had before. Analysis of data from the District Health Information System showed that there was a 17% spike in teenage pregnancies during the school closure period. 17%. Furthermore, according to the Ministry of Health, HIV estimates in 2022, 70, and I repeat, 70% of new HIV infections among young people were found in adolescent girls. In addition to the effects of COVID-19, young people today continue to be disproportionately impacted by the multifaceted crises facing our world, including climate crisis. Given the disproportionate impact of their suffering during COVID-19 pandemic, young people must be at the forefront of planning for a post-COVID-19 future, and what better way than to engage them in the emerging issues such as green energy to create employment while also combating climate change. Their vision and courage are more vital than ever. They are the ones that will inherit all the repercussions of decisions made today, yet they continue to face many
kagumwe kusha mgenu ndabashaba eminyeto kubamanyisa ngu esente za parish development model ziriho zanami muzanure muzikozese okugwanisa obworo.
Period where majority of the youth are employed enable us to sustain ourselves as a country, and even though the COVID-19 affected other sectors of the economy, the agriculture continued. But also during COVID-19, most youth who were into trade and businesses, especially businesses that were allowed to continue operating, were able to continue with their livelihood. But that period also taught youth very important lessons, and new businesses have emerged, where online businesses now, the statistics indicate that the young people now occupy the digital space where they are selling online, where they are doing a lot of things through IT technology. So while the COVID-19 disrupted a lot of other intervention, it also introduced new dynamics into the businesses that are run by the young people. Your Excellency, the teenage pregnancy, I want to appreciate the initiative that Excellency, the Vice President, initiated, and together with the First Lady,